Hello, you piles of quivering, naked flesh. Jim Sterling here, and this is Inside. It starts the moment the game starts, which is why there wasn't really much of a title screen for me to talk through. So we're just going to go ahead and play the game. Now, I've beaten this game already. I played it when it came out on Xbox One last week, and I reviewed it for thejimquisition.com. The review is pretty spoiler-free. I certainly worked hard enough to make it spoiler-free, so if you want to read my thoughts, please go ahead and read that on thejimquisition.com. I wanted to play this for you all, now that it's on Steam, so that I could play it and react in real time and everything to it. I am leery about saying too much about the game, because it is best experienced by yourselves. I'm not going to play far enough for any of the truly memorable stuff to occur. I don't want to spoil anything for y'all. But we will play through the opening chapter, which will be alluring enough. But believe me when I say that this game goes in directions that are just... wow. They're quite stunning. As if you're familiar with Playdead's former work, previous work I should say, former implies they no longer, through some mistake of history, made it anymore. But if you're familiar with Limbo, then you'll see similarities. We're once again a boy thrown out with something of a lack of context. Apologies for the umming and ahhing today. I'm a little bit out of sorts this afternoon, but I'm forging ahead for you all. You know, it's got similar aspects. You're a boy, side-scrolling, platforming, puzzling stuff. But at some point, this game diverges. Still maintains very similar... oops, I forgot the box. Still maintains very similar themes and mechanics. You know, we're doing lots of pushing and pulling and climbing. All the stuff that was in Limbo. But thematically, this thing goes somewhere special. The only thing I'll say of any spoilerific nature is, if you thought that Limbo was nightmare fuel, this decides to be even limbo-ier. Oh, bollocks. Being chased by a dog here. Whoa! There we go. The game's very good at that. As was Limbo. Very last minute, kind of seat of your pants. Even as someone who's played that sequence and knows how it goes, that still gets me just as you jump at that last second, just as the dog closes in. It's a very strong opening sequence, and true to Playdead's nature, it says a lot without saying anything. You know, no words are uttered in this game whatsoever, but you can infer so much from the intro. You know, you can tell we're a boy being hunted by something sinister. And I've forgotten how to do. Anyway, we get shot there with a tranquilizer dart. As you can see, forgotten what to do. I forget if we just wait for it to... Is it coming? Or do we just run? I don't think we just run, because I'll get shot again. Oh no, that's what we do. Now I remember. Quickly, through there. There we are. Sorry, my paranoia getting the best of me there. A little bit forgetful. So there we are. There are some trial and error bits in the game, as Limbo had, but again, just like Limbo, the checkpoints are so forgiving that the trial and error it works out okay. So, as you can see, we've got a car here. There's more colour than Limbo had, but it's used very well. Just that sequence there, it's just a beautiful thing to say. So as part of that trial and error, there are these logs across the floor. And I didn't... Ah, shit. Yeah, there are these logs across the floor that I never got to... never saw the first time around. Again, please let me apologize if I'm a little bit funny today. There we go. If I'm a little bit sluggish in my talking, I'm on all sorts for the old back injury there. Although we are finally seeing a fucking specialist to hopefully get it sorted out once and for all, or at least get us on the road to that. Oof. Just like that. Very, very, very excellent sequence. So, we're now swimming here, and you can see the people on the bridge behind there. We go down here to avoid trouble. One thing I love about Inside is it does create beautifully strong visual imagery. Well, visual imagery. What other kind of imagery would it be? Well, I suppose it'd be mental imagery. But just almost every every element of the game, every moment of it could make some fantastic screenshot that tells a very clear story with its visuals. And that becomes more and more apparent the more the game goes on. You get to pick up on the game's themes and get a real sense of the world that this takes place in through merely observing it. You know, you don't have to be told anything. Which in a world where so many AAA games, for want of a better fucking phrase, AAA games do so much telling, you know, so much telling of their story, and sometimes not even bothering to do that. Like, they won't really tell a story in the game and then give you a website to go and read the wiki to learn any of the history. You know, it's refreshing that you see a game like this that's just... Like, I feel I intimately know so much about Inside's world without hearing a word said about it and within it. And of course, because it's all interpretive, I could be completely off base. I could be completely wrong and know fuck all about the world and have gotten it completely incorrect. But that's fine, because I have my sense of the world. Bloop. Let's get this open. This is a very fun little puzzle here. This one took me a little while to get the hang of. There we go. We're being followed by these little chicks here. Sorry. Start the generator. There we go. Now we need to run all the way here to give the little baby chickens time to catch up, and so that when we run, there's good distance between me and them, so that little straggler get caught up. Right, now we got to run and pull and hold the lever, because that sucks stuff up, sucks all the chickens up, and they all fall out and they hit the hay bale there. And it's fine, the chickens are fine, no one got hurt. I was worried when I first did the puzzle that they'd all get minced, but bye-bye chickens. It's enough of that. This is another game that I class with the Dark Souls series, well, the Souls series, with this and Demon Souls, well, with Dark Souls and Demon Souls, as something I categorize as beautifully bleak. Like many games, especially games of the last generation, this is a game typified by grey and brown. There's a lot of grey and brown in it. But because of the art direction and because of how it informs a very evocative sense of despair and foreboding, there is an inherent beauty about it. So it is what I call beautifully bleak. And it's different from, you know, a lot of those military shooters where they were just being grey and miserable to look gritty and mature. And there's a cynicism to that. And I think that's what a lot of people didn't consider when they criticised games for being just grey and brown. It wasn't really the colour, it was the reasoning for the use of that colour. So here we are basically playing chicken with a pig, jumping over it and whatnot. Earlier. Still after us. And just the animation of it is incredible, as is the visual design of it. As you can just see just how utterly emaciated it is, and we pull that weird parasitic thing from it, and now it's just docile, you know, it's letting us drag it, and just something haunting about the whole thing, you know, just horrible. And this is kind of, I'm kind of revealing a bit too much of the game here at this point, because this tips a little bit of the game's hand, but as you can see, oh yeah, we got to get those there. Get them. Hold on. There we go. I don't know why I was struggling to remember how to do that. So you see us here basically mind controlling 4 people who are, you know, these mindless homunculi. I'll bring them out into the center screen so you can see as we release ourselves, and they just bluff, gone. It's disturbing, and that theme pops up a fair bit in the game. True to Playdead's nature, it never riffs on the same goof. Strictly never rains on the strictly never repeats a performance, but you know, it'll play with similar themes to create very different puzzles. But unlike in many games, once you've seen a thing, you don't see it over and over again ad nauseum. You know, that thing with the pig, in another game, that might be a regular gameplay feature. Oh, look, it's the pig sequence again. Here, very different. And, you know, just a vignette like this, you see these mindless bodies lined up for this truck, and it just, you know, paints a very vivid picture about what this world's like. Just remembering what exactly to do here. I think all you're doing is just bringing the chain down low enough. Yeah, I think we're on the right track. Climbing up the old chain here. But as much as I'd love to just play this all the way through again, but I don't want to do that for the purposes of the video, because so much of it is best experienced on its own, or on your own. You know, it's best for you to experience it on your own. Get the words out, Jim. Once again, I find myself forced to apologise for any slurring and strangeness in my delivery today. I'm doing my fucking best. Right. See if I can remember what the fuck I'm doing here. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. But it's one of those games where I got done playing it on the Xbox One and I was ready to play it again. So I got no issue replaying this intro sequence for all of you fine folks. Which reminds me, I really should replay Limbo. It's been a while. That got me the first time I did this as well. the first time I played this. You got to run basically the moment it tips. Yep. There we go. And then we head back down safely. And I think what I'm going to do is leave it here. Tantalizingly. Well, I'll pop down there. And then I'll leave it there. Because I can't remember what's down the hole. And I want to see what's down the hole. Blip. Hebloop. Actually, yeah, we'll go here because this will show you a little secret. Probably missed ones before this one. But this is the one that I know of for sure. This is how you get achievements in the game. Find these little hidden areas and pull them. And that'll do. That's Inside from the makers of Limbo. I have this very easily, very squarely in the running for a Game of the Year contender. Love it. I absolutely love it. One of the very few 10 out of 10s I've given since founding the Jimquisition.com, and certainly this year, maybe the only one. If it's not, it's one of a tiny handful, because I ain't got a bad thing to say about it. It only gets better and more freaky from here. So, yeah, definitely. I very rarely just recommend people buy things. I don't like telling people, even as a reviewer, I don't like telling people what to do with their money, but there are so many worse ways to spend your money than on this. And this is something quite special. So if you are wondering whether you're, if you've been tempted and you want someone to give you one more reason to go for it, I say go for it. And I'll see you later. Bye. God, I hope that came out okay.